how you view life, what you experience in life at the moment, like this is at the moment, currently in your life, what you have, you say what you might have been able to manifest in the past and things you haven't been able to manifest, all that kind of stuff, how you experience and how you perceive life. All of this is formed from when you were born till the age of 7. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So as you've seen from the title, I'm going to be talking about your subconscious and how that affects manifesting and all that kind of stuff. So let's just get straight into it. So when it comes to manifesting, I said this in my previous video, when it comes to manifesting, if there's something that you're trying to manifest, but like I said, your subconscious beliefs, so those beliefs you might not be aware of, if they don't support what it is that you're trying to manifest, it's probably not going to happen. And it's not to worry, like you can change that. There's things you can do to change it. But if there's something you're trying to manifest, you're trying to manifest it for ages, there's certain things you want to experience in this world and you're not able to, it's probably because as much as your conscious mind wants it and you might believe that you can have it and all these kind of things, if your subconscious doesn't really feel that, or you have beliefs about yourself that don't support that lifestyle, don't support what you want, your subconscious is not going to allow you to experience it. So for you, and there's a doctor that discusses all of this and goes into more like scientific detail about it and all that kind of stuff. For you and I, for everyone, between the ages of 0 and 7, your brain was in something called theta. And theta is like a lower vibrational brain, it's a lower brain wave than the conscious mind. So when you were growing up between the ages of 0 and 7, there was no difference between imagination and your like what the real world is. To you, it was all the same. Like as a kid, you played with things, you made up stories, like you had your dolls or toys, like whatever it was you was playing with at the time, whatever scenes you were coming up with, to you at that age, that was real. There's no difference between your imagination and what the 3D world is. And what theta is it's almost like a state of hypnosis, and under hypnosis, the brain is literally like a sponge and will take in everything around it. So when you were between the ages of 0 and 7, whatever you experienced, whatever you went through, whatever you felt, whatever you heard and whatever you saw would then enter basically straight into your subconscious and then would form your perceived reality and form what you think reality is, what your beliefs are about yourself, basically all of that. So whatever you perceived at that time and whatever you interpreted from certain situations then becomes your reality, and it has followed you throughout your entire life. And that is why when people, maybe for yourself you realize this, or maybe if you go to therapy, or if you don't, you might have just heard it, a lot of people talk about doing, you know, the inner child work and working on your childhood traumas and things like that, because it was when you was between those ages of 0 to 7, you formed your beliefs about yourself, you formed your beliefs about what you could and can't have, who you can and can't be, who you are as a person, how the world works, how things are going to be for you, and that carries you through for the rest of your life. So let's say, for example, between the ages of 0 and 7, you had very supportive parents that were always encouraging you to do things, to be yourself, that you can have anything you want in this world, that you can be whatever you want, whatever. Once your conscious mind comes into play at the age of 8, for example, you already now have all of these subconscious beliefs about what you can have in life, how you can be, that you can do anything, whatever. And you will find that, let's say people that had supportive parents, for example, or just experienced things in their childhood where there was no real like limitations, they weren't told they can and can't do this. And I don't mean it in terms of like, oh, you can't pick up something that's dangerous for you and things like that. I mean, you know, you're telling your parents you want to be an astronaut or something like that, and your parents are telling you, yeah, of course, like you can do whatever, blah blah blah. That's going to follow you throughout your life, and you're probably going to find that you don't feel that limitation. You don't feel like you can't do anything. You don't have that You don't have that limit on yourself. Now, the opposite could be growing up. There were certain things that you experienced. I don't know, your parents might have, like, you might have come up with something that you want to do, that you want to be when you get older. Your parents shut it down. Your parents told you can and can't be this. You're like, you know, and as like, so for a child, for example, as their conscious, like, logical mind hasn't come into play yet, things that to us, when you have, you know, when you're more aware, you have your consciousness, might not seem like your parent is basically saying to you, like, you are not enough or you are not good enough. As a child whose brainwaves are under theta, if they experience certain things, that they might experience certain things that then form that for you. So if you feel as if, you know, you're not enough, you can't do this and that, you're not good enough for this and that, it was probably something that happened to you in your childhood that formed that subconscious belief that made you perceive reality like that. And therefore, you know, it's followed you throughout your whole life. So, and that's just like one example. There's so many different things that could have happened to you, or you could have experienced, or you could have seen that as a child under theta, you've interpreted it one particular way. It doesn't necessarily mean it was that way. It doesn't mean that you're not good enough. It doesn't mean you can't be whatever you want. But under theta, under that hypnosis, you have interpreted it that way. You've then formed that belief about yourself, and it's followed you throughout your whole life. So one way that you can figure out what your subconscious beliefs are and what might be the things that are holding you back from certain manifestations, and why it's easy for you to manifest this but not that, you need to look at the areas in your life that you struggle with. It could be that you struggle with money. It could be you struggle with relationships. It could be that, you know, you just never feel like you're good enough at something, or that you can have anything that you want. You always feel like there's limitations on you. You need to look at you need to look at parts of your life that you always struggle with, and that will show you what subconscious beliefs that you have that are limiting you in this life. And then on the opposite side, you can look at the areas in your life that you thrive in. Again, it could be money, it could be relationships, it could be whatever it is, and that will also show you that you must have subconscious beliefs that support that. So the areas that you struggle in, you clearly have subconscious beliefs that don't support that. I don't know, one for example could be, if you're always bad with money, you never really have money. If you get money, you lose it, or it seems so hard for you just to make large amount of money. You might have a subconscious belief that money is evil, or you have to work really, really hard for your money, or, you know, you have to do XYZ to get a certain amount of money, or you must be this or that to get a certain amount of money. Let's say in relationships, for example, you always end up in like bad relationships, or you struggle with relationships, or whenever you're in a relationship, you have this feeling that you're not good enough, that this person's going to leave you, or whatever. You may have beliefs that, you know, I am not good enough, I am not this, I am not that, I am not loved, I am not lovable. And all of these things are not true. It's just what you've perceived life to be like between the ages of 0 and 7, and therefore it, like I said, it's just carried you, it's just followed you throughout your whole life. Like that's what you interpreted life to be like between those ages. You form those subconscious beliefs, and so for you, that is true. It has nothing to do with who you truly are, and what you truly can be, and what you truly can have, because you can have anything in this world and you can be whoever you want to be. But if growing up you ended up forming subconscious beliefs that don't support that and don't allow that for you, that is now what you perceive reality to be like. And that, I'm here to tell you, that is not true, and you can change it. So there are a few ways that you can change your subconscious beliefs. So again, Dr. Bruce Lipton talks about this. The two main ways to change your subconscious beliefs are repetition and hypnosis. So when it comes to hypnosis, I I don't know too much about it. I would imagine it's something again to do with the theta brainwaves and entering that state, and you know, whatever you're being told under that hypnosis will then enter into your subconscious and obviously change, you know, what you believe about yourself, what you believe about the world, etc., etc. But the other way is with repetition. So this is why people talk about affirmations and saying affirmations like, you know, I am enough, I am beautiful, I am this, I am wealthy, I am healthy, like all these things. The reason why the repetition works is because it's the same way that you learned between the ages of 0 to 7. It's the same thing that you learned. Like as a child, you were constantly told or constantly experienced a certain thing that then made you think in a certain way, which then probably made you as a child repeat to yourself, you know, I'm not good enough, or I am loved, or whatever. And it formed that subconscious belief. So if you need to change a subconscious belief, you need to change the affirmation that is going on within your head. Now, my only thing with affirmations is it's not enough to just sit there and 100 times a day just sit there and just repeat to yourself, you know, I am enough, I am this, I am that. If you just do that, that's not going to change anything. The subconscious mind works more and works easier when there's feelings attached. So if you can repeat an affirmation to yourself consistently and you attach feeling to it, like let's say if I was using one such as I am loved, I need to feel within myself I am loved. And at first, if you already don't have that subconscious belief, it's probably going to feel weird, and it might feel like, you know, whatever you're saying to yourself isn't true. But the more emotion you put behind it, the more feelings you put behind it, the more you repeat it to yourself, eventually it's going to get into your subconscious, and before you know it, you won't have to sit there and repeat it or even consciously think about it anymore. It will just become part of who you are, and you will then experience that in your 3D world. So let's say for example, like let's just say you're trying to manifest anything. It could be just anything, but you have a subconscious belief that I am not good enough for this thing. You've now figured that out. If you're trying to actively manifest it, but subconsciously you don't feel as if you're actually good enough for this thing, you're not then going to experience it. You can't experience anything in this world that your subconscious doesn't support. So through the repetition, through the hypnosis, through you feeling and believing that you are good enough, that you are loved, that you deserve it, you deserve nice things, you deserve whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. You know, there is no limit. You can be and have whatever it is you want in this world. Eventually you will start to see your manifestations come to life. And I see a lot of so I talk about the law of assumption, but I have seen a lot of people that talk about the law of attraction and things like that, and how working on your like self-love and doing self-love affirmations, how that can help you manifest. And it's not the fact that you're saying to yourself, I am loved, I am worthy, you know, I am deserving, I deserve everything that I want, I can have whatever. Like it's not the fact that you're saying these things to yourself that causes you to manifest. It's the fact that you eventually start to believe within your subconscious, fully and truly believe that I am worthy of this, I am worthy of that. So then when you're trying to manifest something, you don't have your subconscious there blocking you and telling you, or that subconscious belief telling you that no, you're not good enough, so you're not going to have this. So yeah, the main things I want you to take away from this video is you're not manifesting at the moment. You're not manifesting what you want because your subconscious beliefs don't support that. Those subconscious beliefs were formed when you were a child between the ages of 0 to 7. All hope is not lost, because you can change your subconscious beliefs through repetition, through hypnosis. And if you don't already know what subconscious beliefs are holding you back, just look at the areas in your life that you struggle with, look at the areas in your life that you thrive with, and you will come to find that there's a certain affirmation, I say affirmation, but there's a certain belief within you that is supporting whatever it is that you are experiencing. So yeah, here is to changing our subconscious beliefs this 2021 so that it can help you manifest. I hope you found this video insightful. I hope it's given you something for you to think about and to work on. And here's to manifesting all your dreams.